Hey y'all, welcome back to How Do You Cook Back to Basics. My name is Andrea, and for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. I am so glad you are here. So today I decided to do a refresh of one of my older videos. Today I will be sharing with you how I make my homemade lasagna from scratch. This lasagna recipe is not cheap by all means, but for those of you that do not like to eat frozen lasagnas and you want a good ooey gooey, saucy, cheesy lasagna, then this recipe is for you. Without further ado, let's get started. First thing we're going to start doing is browning our ground beef. I have a little over 3 pounds of ground beef here. Now you don't have to use this much if you don't want, but I'm making a pretty large lasagna. So we're going to go ahead and get this in our pot. Well, we got to get our stove eye started. Now that our ground beef is in our pot, we are going to smash it up with my little smasher here. Once it's starting to cook, we'll add our onions. I have 1 medium chopped onion right here. You'll add that whole thing and cook that onion up with your ground beef. If you don't like crispy onions, you can always put onion powder or whatever, or you can just omit the onions. It's whatever you like. Make it your own. Once our ground beef is nice and browned, I'll come back and show you what our next steps are. Our ground beef is completely done. It's nice and brown, and I did drain any excess liquid that was left in this pan. I'm going to be adding 2 jars of this traditional pasta sauce here. I used Prego last time. Prego cost twice as much as this. They are 45-ounce jars. I'm going to add this 1 jar. Give that a really good stir. And I just made a huge mess over here on my stove. Y'all, make sure you use a really large pan for this recipe. For your sauce, you need to make sure you have plenty of space in your pan. So this time I'm going to add some dried herbs that I grew in my garden last year. This is basil. It's sweet Italian basil. I grew this in my garden. I dried it out. I processed it. So now I'm going to add a huge chunk of this in my sauce. Y'all, if you've got some fresh herbs, use them. They're so much better than that stuff you get at the grocery store. I'm using quite a bit, so I'm just going to leave this right here. Give this a really good stir and check this out. Now, I usually make my sauce beforehand, let it simmer up while we're getting our noodles ready. Our pasta water is about to boil, so here is where we add our salt. And here I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to my water because I don't want the noodles to stick together. I think that's enough olive oil. So once this begins to boil, I'm going to add my noodles and show you how I do that. It's just about ready, y'all. So our water is boiling. So what I do here is I add 1 noodle at a time, and I do them catty corner from each other. I'm adding all my noodles. You don't want them to stick together. This is why I use the olive oil. I wanted to show you what I do to prepare my noodles after they've been rinsed with cold water. So I have a paper towel here, cold water. We're just going to lay it right there. We don't want our lasagna noodles to be too wet, so you just lay them right there. I lay another paper towel on top because that helps to dry the top. Another noodle, another one, because you want your sauce to adhere to your noodles the best that it can without all the water that's still lingering all over your noodles. I wanted to show you what types of cheeses I'm using. I'm using Italian style shredded cheese, Colby Jack, mozzarella, and the secret ingredient, cream cheese. You're gonna love this lasagna, y'all, so let's get started building. Now you'll wanna spray your pan very well. I have extra virgin olive oil spray. And now we're just gonna start layering our lasagna. Now this casserole dish right here fits exactly 3 noodles long ways. Yep, see? I got 3 noodles. We're gonna put a layer of our sauce, and the sauce is really nice and hot. So we're just gonna do that now. Just add you a few spoonfuls after I make a mess, of course. I'm a messy cook. This is real life, y'all. I'm a messy cook. But anyway, this is real life. Cooking is messy. All right, so now we're gonna add our first layer of cheese. I think what I'm gonna do first is our Colby Jack. We're just gonna add a nice layer of Colby Jack on the top. Add a little bit of mozzarella to the top of this as well. Now, y'all can put whatever cheeses you like in your lasagna. It's gonna be cheesy, it's gonna be saucy, and it's gonna be delicious. Y'all gonna need those garlic breadsticks to sop up this juice. It's gonna be good. We have our first layer down. Now we're gonna add some more lasagna noodles. See how easy this recipe is? It is very, very simple. So we're gonna add another layer of sauce. And this time I'm starting out with Italian style cheese. Putting it all over there. Now we're gonna add our cream cheese. Now I usually use my fingers for this, just to dab a little bit cream cheese in the areas. This is gonna give this lasagna a nice creamy texture. I'm putting the entire thing on there. Let's do a third layer. The only thing I'm gonna do on this layer is put a layer of sauce, because you really don't want to burn your cheese on top. If you can help it, do not burn your cheese on top. Try to cover up all that cheese. But once this is ready, just about ready to come out of the oven, that's when you can layer up your cheese on top and get that cheese on the top all nice, melty, and bubbly. We're gonna go ahead and put our lasagna in a preheated 375 degree oven until it starts bubbling on the top. Once it starts bubbling, we're gonna add our cheese topping, cook it for about another 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay, here's my dinner. I have my delicious lasagna, my romaine salad with my Italian dressing, and my garlic stick. So now we're gonna try this out and see how it is. I hope y'all like it, because it sure does smell good and it sure does look good. Oh my goodness. It is still super, super hot. Here's your bite, and here's mine. Saucy, cheesy heaven. Oh yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this episode on How Do You Cook Back to Basics. And if you did, please hit that like button, and please do consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. Until next time, y'all. Bye-bye now.